This is a TLDR tier list for next week's Mutation. This is based on solo play because your ally is a random factor that cannot be accounted for. Also, this is based on above average co-op knowledge. Mechanical skill is not that important in co-op. Adjust these rankings based on your own knowledge and skill level. Let's begin with Stukov. For him, missile command is not a thing. You can just keep some barracks around for emergencies, but pretty much the P3 infested are going to take out whatever missiles come by. You can repair your bunkers, make sure you have some guys patrolling, and you will have tanks later on, and you can use tanks and use your cooldowns to push through the units, kill the units near the hybrids, and then the infested will eventually overwhelm them. Stetmann, he's not S because he's not good against missile command. He's decent. The best option against the nukes is to use Brute Lords and you Yamato them. Against Hardened Will Inspiration, he has no problem, and he can also repair, so he's fine against the enemies, and enemy comp doesn't really matter as well because it's super Gary. So all you really need to do is make sure your units, your buildings don't get destroyed by missiles, so pay attention to that. Phoenix is B because when you spend a lot of time rebuilding your buildings, making carriers to defend against missiles and stuff, your army gets smaller. You have less supply for your other units. Pushing through is not going to be that big of a problem. Although Hardened Will is going to reduce Caudalis's DPS by a lot, so you have to find other things, especially Mojo or the Dragoon suit, to take care of the air units so that Caudalis can cleave through the hybrids. You also need to switch out of the Dragoon suit frequently after 15 minutes to make sure that you can summon the Dragoon suit to take care of any nukes that fly by. Dehaka, he's generally bad against missile command, but only in the early game. So once you get past the early mid game, the late game is actually pretty decent. Once you max out, you can even sacrifice your natural and just defend your main. And once you have enough creeper hosts surrounding your base, you can have an army pushing. With P2, you can clear with Mutalisks, or you can just use pack leaders to push the center and the bosses. In the late game with nukes, you use Greater Primal Worm and use the Q ability directly targeting the nuke to take out the nuke and not have to worry about getting blown up. You can also turn off autocast on your creeper hosts that are on offense so that you only summon creepers and use the locust to clear encampments or enemies. Carax gets S because Carax actually doesn't care about missile command until nukes. If you don't even build a single cannon or monolith, you will not die. So I've done this with P2 before. Once you get to the 15-minute mark, you just have a few mirages on at home, and you can like hunt down the nukes, or you can use orbital strike if you see them. So yeah, he's really good for this one. Zeratul is super good as well. His monoliths are hit scan, his sentries, shield guards will also take care of nukes very easily. And if you're using P2, he will be so strong in the mid-late game that you don't have to worry about nukes at all. You can simply just mass cannons and then use your cooldowns on the bosses for clearing. Menks also S tier because he has bunkers which stop missile command. You can ESO all the encampments, ESO all the enemies around the hybrids, and if there are air units, then you go in afterwards. You can gas the air units with P1, or you can use P3 exploding troopers and take out the air units, then continue shelling the hybrids from afar. Artanis is not good against missile command, so yeah. If you're spending a lot of resources on defending against missiles, you have a lot less to push. Tempests and Dragoons also get stopped by PDD, so your damage output is reduced. And yeah, it's just gonna be really hard to beat this with him. So good luck. I mean, and you also have to pay attention to the nukes. You can storm them twice, or like if you storm once or twice, you can hit it, but it's hard to see the hitbox of the nuke, so you have to storm like multiple times to make sure you hit it before it hits your building. And also, if it hits any building, your pylon, if you have a single pylon, it might just die. So you need multiple pylons just for backup, and it's just not a good time. Tychus is easy S because he has hit scan units and his auto turrets. You just form like a line of 5 or 6 of them, defends against the nukes, defends against the splitter missiles as well. Serious turrets also very good. Kerrigan, P1 is pretty good if you don't want to go back and like protect your base against missiles. You need a good number of Hydras to power down the nukes, but it's hard to say exactly how many. If you're using Omegas, you can just have a ton of buildings to absorb a lot of shots. If you're not using P1, then you need to like pop in and out to find the missiles and then take them out before they destroy your base. Immobilization Wave can take out a lot of the enemies surrounding the hybrids, so you don't have to worry about Hardened Will inspiration too much. Abathur is pretty good. In the early game, you have Brutalists that they can carry you for quite a while, and you just need a few spores to defend. Later on, you'll push with Swarm Hosts and or Leviathans, and after 15 minutes, your Brutalists are basically on anti-nuke duty. You just stay back and deal with nukes while the rest of your army do the pushing. Also, you can spawn camp the hybrid spots and waves with your Toxic Nest, so that deals with a lot of the enemies that can cause problems. Nova is B. She can repair through the regular missile damage, but when it's time for nukes, you really have to pay attention, and you need separate hotkeys for your Ravens so that you can Seeker Missile any nuke that gets close. That's basically the plan. You use Seeker Missile on nukes, and that's how you survive. But if you aren't good with this control, then I don't think you should use Nova. I would say, I guess, as long as you're able to do this, I actually think, oh, I forgot P3 exists. So with P3, you can like sabotage drone and nuke all the enemies surrounding the bosses. So you can actually just like Liberator down the rest of them pretty easily, as long as you pay attention to the Seeker missiles. So I guess they are in the same area. Yeah, these three. Similar to Stetmann, you have something to target the nuke missiles. Zagara is horrible for this one. I think I'm the only person who has soloed this, and it was terrible. Like, I almost lost my last building. I was down to my last building because I had to basically speedrun this with an econ deficit trying to not die. So it's really hard, and I do not recommend using her. I guess if you use Scourge, you can manually target and it'll be a lot easier, but you're still going to bleed to death slowly from all the regular missiles. Raynor, man, Raynor is good against Missile Command, but he is bad against Inspiration and Hardened Will. So you can kind of Spider Mine camp the hybrids, but if there's even like an air unit, all the Spider Mines will be wasted on hybrids dealing 10 damage apiece, and that's not good. So if there are air units, he's kind of screwed. And then, yeah, and with Inspiration, you kind of need BCs to deal enough damage. Otherwise, the +3 armor is going to reduce a lot of your Marine damage, and that's no good. So you don't want to use Marines against Inspiration. And also don't forget the random missiles that fly by and give hybrids Hardened Will. That's no good either. Hana Horner, they're Terrans, so they can't be that bad. For nukes, you can fly Reapers, but you have to pay attention. You can also use Carrier Galleons, but you have to keep them at your base. You can't F2. Make sure you have enough guys repairing. Their problem is PDDs reduce the effectiveness of strike fighters by a lot. Air units reduce Han and Horner's effectiveness by a lot. PDDs, I think, also stop their mag mines. So it's just terrible being there. And pushing is really hard. It's really hard unless you're using like Horner units to push, but still, like, random missiles flying by can also push you back. And if the enemy is like Terran and they have a lot of Thors, they're gonna beat the crap out of you. So Han and Horner can deal with the missiles, but not so good against the hybrids and the map itself, actually. Vorazun is very good. So Vorazun with the patrol, Corsair patrol, you can stop all the missiles pretty much automatically, and you don't have to abuse Terran. You can fight against any enemy, and it'll be pretty much the same. So here are the time stop usages. So first time stop, you use it for the second wave at 5 minutes. Then you use time stop again at 9 minutes, so you let the 7-minute wave pass. Then after the first hybrid, you want to time stop again at around like 13 minutes. So you want to push the hybrid forward, or you can wait 2 minutes, but you use the third time stop for the second hybrid. Then you use the next time stop, so the fourth time stop to clear the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth time stop clears the center. Then you kind of hang around because you don't want to engage the enemy without a time stop. It'll be 21 to 22 minutes. You have another time stop. Then you push and take out the third set of enemies, third boss. And then with the last time stop, you can skip the last boss. So you can actually use your units, kind of throw them all in, use your black holes, clear the last encampment, and then when you have time stop, you just skip the boss. If you don't know how to do this, you can check out my guide, which is a really short guide. It's pretty easy. Basically, when the last boss is triggered, you use time stop and just push Janara instead of fighting. Swann is really good because Swann, he can defend against missiles. His concentrated beam clears all the things in the center. His pulse cannons will clear all the enemies at the hybrids, and then the wraiths deal the rest. Alarak, he's okay. His problem is not missile command. He, similar to Vorazun, can patrol Corsairs. His problem is that because you're spending a lot of money on destroyers, your army is going to be reduced. So that's one. And clearing the center can be difficult, especially if there are a lot of Vipers, and you're not good with unit control. Your mothership might just die to the multiple Vipers hitting your stuff. And yeah, against Terran, there are a lot of Thors that hit your stuff, which also sucks. So his problem is AoE and like Terrans, basically. And your reduced army size, because you are spending so many, you're spending a lot of money defending your bases with destroyers.
That's it for this tier list. You can extrapolate this info to your duel runs. Good luck with the mutation.